Hello, Kim.
Hi, Jean.
Good, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah, I think for today's Dymo chat, I have some questions for you. Some people just asking me about some feelings. They are not good. They feel icky, tired, and weak. And some other people said they have dry skin and sweaty head. So, what do you think about those people? What's happening?
Well, in looking at some of these, I would say that there is a good chance that they could be low in vitamin D, and that's what I would say. It's probably too because we've been inside so much that that's probably what's going on.
Oh, vitamin D deficiency?
Yeah, could possibly be vitamin D deficiency. So, and much of this is because our main source of vitamin D actually comes from the sun. So the really cool thing about our body is that when we are exposed to sunshine, then what our body does is it converts it to a form of usable vitamin D. So let's face it, this time of the year, we're probably not getting out very much and getting all that sunshine, are we?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So besides sunshine, what kind of other things could cause us to get vitamin D deficiency?
Oh, great question. So I'm going to answer that question with posing a question to you.
Oh,
So, yeah. So which of these do you think could cause vitamin D deficiency? Changes
uh,
in skin color, some of these diseases, obesity, or avoiding the sun?
well, I think avoiding the sun exposure, that's for sure. And
Okay.
skin pigmentation, liver celiac, or Crohn's disease, I think they might get vitamin D deficiency. But obesity, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, let's check and see what the answer is.
Oh, all of the above.
All of the above. And just so you know, this is not an all-inclusive list, but I picked things that most people would probably not even be that aware of. In fact, many experts believe that almost 42% of people here in the United States are probably vitamin D deficient, and up to 61% of the elderly are felt to be vitamin D deficiency symptoms as well. And you know what? You could be deficient and not even know it. That's one of the problems.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we'll look at each one of these areas briefly, just because again, I don't think most people are aware of some of these things. So when you look at these two individuals, who do you think would have the better risk of being vitamin D deficiency? The gal with the darker skin or the gal with the lighter skin?
Yeah, I think with a darker skin.
Okay,
The girl with a darker skin.
okay, and that's interesting. See, I always would have thought it would be the person with the lighter skin, but it's actually individuals that are darker, meaning that they have more melanin in their skin. Melanin, think about it. When lighter colored individuals go out in the summertime and we're out in the sun for a long time, what happens to our skin?
Well, my skin will turn darker.
Yeah, yeah, mine too. So we get a tan, right? We're all looking for that gorgeous tan in the summertime, and that's that melanin production.
Mm-hmm.
So the body is able to synthesize vitamin D from the sun, as we said. But those that have more of that melanin, the body doesn't get to make as much of that vitamin D. So people that are of African descent, Latinos, South Asians, Aborigines, they all have a higher prevalence of vitamin D deficiency because of their skin color.
So that means I have more chance to get vitamin D deficiency than you.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing now with some of these diseases, now last time we talked about vitamin C being a water soluble vitamin. Vitamin D is actually classified as being a fat-soluble vitamin or a hormone, but in its fat-soluble state, it means that it has to be attached with fat. So when we look at some of these diseases like Crohn's or liver disease, celiac disease, some of these things, we're already seeing problems with fat malabsorption. And because of that, that's why these individuals might be at a higher risk of having vitamin D deficiency as well. Regarding obesity, individuals that are particularly in an obese category actually need to take much larger amounts of vitamin D than individuals of normal weight. And the thought behind that is because they are carrying more of that subcutaneous or that fat under the skin, is that's where that vitamin D is getting stored. So it's being stored there instead of being utilized throughout other parts of the body. It's actually getting trapped inside those fat tissues.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know.
And then, avoiding sun exposure. And I think a lot of this comes from, people are scared of getting skin cancer. So, either people avoid going outside or, for small periods of time where you find themselves kind of like this gal, they got long sleeves and a hat, wearing long pants. And even in some cultures, think about, they're wearing robes and we see very little of their face. So they're at a much higher level for getting vitamin D deficiency as well.
Yeah, I think that's a culture. Comparing to this Eastern culture and Western culture right now, nowadays in Western countries, lots of people like to, get some sunshine, get a tan. But still, in lots of Asian countries, you see lots of ladies just wearing something or do something like this lady on this picture. They don't want to get tan. They like to keep their skin kind of lighter. That would be prettier.
Yeah, it's like a lot of cultural differences. So we looked at some of the reasons or the symptoms of why a person might be deficient. And now we can look at some of the benefits from taking vitamin D. So it is needed, as most people are probably aware, we need it for bone health. So it's helping to keep a lot of these minerals, our calcium and our phosphorus in line. There's research to show too that it can really help improve blood glucose balance. And so individuals with diabetes or pre-diabetes should, really be watching those vitamin D levels as well. It's great for brain function. So we need it for our mental health and our well-being, just to make us more aware of our concentration processes and those types of things. And again, our immune system. So this is one of the things that we really need to help keep us strong and healthy. Also affecting our respiratory system. And we know that COVID and, the flu, those are huge respiratory illnesses. So look at all these other things that vitamin D benefits, other things that it helps protect us. I mean, this whole array. So basically, anywhere from our brain to, basically the top, the bottom, and all throughout our body. So this is
whole
really
body.
an
Whole
important
body.
and nutrient that we need.
So how do I know my vitamin D levels? How can I know I have enough or I don't have enough?
Oh, great question. So the only way you are going to know that is to have that vitamin D level tested. And that is some of the frustration that I see or I hear, is that people are just taking varied amounts of vitamin D. And they really don't know, are they taking too much or not enough? So we really need to have that vitamin D level tested. And so here, according to the NIH, is how they have classified, according to health status, a number where our vitamin D levels should be. And actually, I'd say the majority of individuals that I've worked with in practice have been pretty much anywhere from about 28, pretty much within that 30 to that maybe 50-ish range. So I'd say the majority of people I work with are in that deficiency and inadequate range.
Yeah,
So
that's a big problem. But actually, lots of people don't realize this.
no, because again, you could be low in vitamin D and you really don't know it. You might not feel different, or some of the symptoms we looked at right away, we could probably attribute to it being related to something else.
Yeah, that's right.
So in order to know where our levels are, what do we have to do? We have to test.
Yeah, we need to do tests. How to do the test?
Okay, so do a blood test, and we want to do that twice a year. Now, why twice a year? Because again, generally people are going to have different vitamin D levels, whether it's probably going to be lower in the winter time. It's probably going to be much higher in the summertime. Now, how you can do that is ask your practitioner for a vitamin D test. But some of the things that I have run into also in practice is that you might have difficulty getting an insurance company to pay for a test. Part of it is because you need to be deficient. Okay, so if we can see that those levels are changing, the problem is how do you know if you're deficient if you don't have the test? So a couple options that you could do is you could ask to have the labs drawn and then offer to pay for them if insurance won't pay for those. Another option is that you can Google online, or excuse me, you can Google walk-in labs, okay? And so what that is those are companies, they're very well-known companies like LabCorp and Quest and Direct Labs. And so they have offices all over, the metro area, well, across the whole country, actually. And so it doesn't require a doctor's referral. You can order your own labs, which you want to have done. The only difference is that they do not take insurance. So it is a fee-for-service provider. However, the fees are 25 to 50% less than what you would pay for at your clinic. So you have options to have any test really done that you want to do. In fact, this is a service that I also provide for my clients. So I can order the labs, I can run through the labs and the interpretation of the labs with my clients. So that's part of my licensure in Minnesota. It's also part of my functional medicine training.
That's good to know. Thank you for your information.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about next time, Jean?
Yeah, I think I really want to know where can I get vitamin D? Maybe, what kind of resource we can get. So that's very important because lots of people, as you said, lots of people already have vitamin D deficiency. And then how can we get vitamin D?
Yeah.
So next time, I'm looking forward to hear what you are going to say about it.
Well, and we're going to have our Heather Carpentier from Chronicles and Health is going to be joining us again. So she's going to talk about some of the high vitamin D food sources. And I'm going to talk a little bit about sun exposure and when to determine if supplementation might be required. So that's what we're going to talk about next time.
Well, that's great. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are interested and you are looking for some more research, or again, everything that we do here is all going to be backed up by research and science. So look at that, in just about a 15-minute presentation, I've got about half a dozen, 6, 7 different references here. So again, with that, we want to thank you for listening today and hope you took away some take-home points, and we look forward to seeing you again on Thursday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Talk to you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.